So Denisha, I want to say like a year ago, you and I was just having a conversation outside of your house, and you told me some stuff that you wanted to do. So why are we sitting here together today?
I think it was time for me to share my story, especially when my community is women and my clients. So I see a lot of different women, and they come in my studio. Some of the people you think might be the most confident show confidence issues or just self-love issues just off of our conversation. And after our sessions, they tell me like how the session made them feel. So I knew it was time for me to share my story because, of course, like on the outside looking in, people, I always think I'm perfect or I got my stuff together, but I went through the same issues. So I just wanted to bring my story to light.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're not just a photographer, but you're actually telling stories through the images that you capture and the people that you serve.
Yes, for me, I want women to see themselves in a way that I know they probably haven't. Um, for me, growing up, I did deal with confidence issues. I played basketball, so of course, you get that stigma of tomboy and all those things. So for the women, like I want them to feel like they look like they're in a magazine. So that's why my images look like fashion editorial. And it took for me to be in a mentorship, and they asked us why we did what we did. And I remember giving an answer, like I like taking pictures because like my daughter was born, but I had always liked doing it, so it made me get serious. And I remember the mentor, she was like, nah, Denisha, she's like, I'm gonna need you to dig deeper because it's something more to it. She said the way you shoot women and display women is something there. And like at that moment, it's kind of when my brand shifted and I really understood why and my purpose.
Okay. So before we go more into your purpose, I want to go back to like your girlhood, the little girl in you. So you talked a little bit about, basketball and people putting these labels on you, but who was little Denisha?
Um, a people pleaser. For me, like I was the oldest, so I felt like I always put pressure on myself because I always want to make my parents proud. And when I say parents, it was more like my mom and stepdad at the time. And then it was also like trying to prove something because like my real dad wasn't at home. So I also dealt with that. So it was like I want this person to be proud of me, like, because like I dealt with issues and questioning like why my dad, like why can't I live with my dad and be, because my sisters, they all had their dad there, but it's like my dad got a whole family with somebody else, like did he care about me, So like I always wanted to make everybody proud. So like I put the pressure, so A and B student, sports, all the things, and then I also knew that I had my little sisters looking to me, so I think I just put the pressure on myself starting early. So like I was just like a hard worker, play sports. That was little Denisha.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be like your mentor when she said, let's go deeper.
Mm-hmm.
So people pleasing, for those who don't even understand what that looks like as a child, give us some imagery of what that looked like trying to please your mother, your father, your siblings.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because it's like you don't even realize it, and I think I didn't even realize it, of course, going through it. It was more through therapy. So therapy definitely helped me get to where I'm at, even to share my story. But people pleasing, like as far as a child is putting the pressure on myself to be like 4.0, 3 student, make all A's and B's. If I got anything less, like I'm upset, playing the sports, like doing everything I thought was right. So, to set example for my sisters. But then it also comes with, oh, you the favorite. Or, like think you get special treatment, but it's like, nah, I just, try to stay out the way, do what I was supposed to do. I think that's what people pleasing look like. Like I said, I put so much pressure, so it's like trying to do everything right so I don't get in trouble. Like coming up, I ain't really getting in trouble. Like I can count all the times like I didn't got whooping, you know what I'm saying? Like so I just try to be good.
Yeah. I think about people pleasing too, of you put yourself to the side and always put others before you. So you recognizing that through therapy, like how's that show up for you today?
Like the people pleasing?
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Friendship circles change because it's like what you would do for some people, like they wouldn't do for you, and you realize it. And it's like, I remember sitting in therapy, and my therapist was like, Denisha, you are what's called like a little celebrity. And I was like, nah, not me. Like, I don't. She was like, people know who you are in the city. And I was like, she's like, I know you, and I know you don't care about that stuff, and you do what you do because, you know, why you do it. But she's like, you got to be very careful and intentional about who you let around you, because some people just want to be attached to your name. Still was like, okay, whatever you say. Like, but then it's like stuff started revealing itself. And it's like people that I thought were my friends and supporting me, it wasn't the case. It was just they were around because they got this service from me, you know. And for me, it was like my friends, like, I would give discounts. I said, you don't got paid because you're my friend. Until I found and had real friends was like, nah, I'm going to pay you what you're worth because I see what you put into it. I see what you do it. But I did have people that expected discounts, expected free stuff. Then when I wasn't, like, it gets back to me that, oh, Denisha, who she thinks she is? She's charging this for pictures. And I'm like, damn. But when I come to you for your service, I had to pay you full price, even tipped you. So then it's just like, damn, what she was saying was right. So yeah, and then I just have people trying to use my name for stuff that I had nothing to do with, trying to promote some shit with my name, and it's like, okay, my therapist was on to something. Because like for me, I don't do it to be popular. I don't care about it. The accolades, when people tell me they vote, like, I don't care about that stuff. And I can honestly say it from the bottom of my heart, I mean it. Like, I don't care. It's me doing what I do for the women that support me. So it was rough because, again, you just like, damn, I wouldn't have did that person like that. And there's been times you do shit for people, like, and you don't ask for nothing back, and then you just see, like, when it's your turn, where they at.
I appreciate you sharing this, because this connection from the little girl in you to womanhood, and seeing how, okay, I was people pleasing as a girl, and then it showed out in womanhood, but it sounds like I'm getting a handle of it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Nah, most definitely. And again, it's like you don't even realize it. And for me, like, just friends was hard because, like, I ain't gonna say I have trust issues. Oh, I ain't gonna say I did. Like, it was just trust, like, letting people in was hard. So then once I let you in, it's like, you know, we riding. And so then when you show me different, it's like, damn, like, I don't even let everybody in. So for you to do it, that's just like one of those daggers that's like, damn, like, why did I open up? But definitely people pleasing led into adulthood and womanhood. But now it's like boundaries. Like, therapy has helped me set boundaries. And if you can't follow those boundaries, you gotta go.
I love that. The other thing I think about you is, you know, I know you from high school. And so I've got to witness this version of you of like coming into yourself and like being really secure in who you are. Can you tell me a little bit more about who you were in high school and like what you was carrying with you that people may not have known?
So in high school, it's so crazy because I ain't gonna say I was popular, but people knew who I was because I played sports. And then, of course, I started dating Isaiah junior year. So, like, people knew who I was, but high school still dealt with insecurities of my own. One of the big issues was, like, my hair. So that's something I had battled, like, since elementary and got bullied on. And I remember, like, my parents trying to send us to a dermatologist and all these things. And then, you know, people was blaming my mom because, like, it was just the thinning hair on the sides and things. So, like, I always covered it. And it's just, like, it was something I had to deal with every day, like, from elementary too, because it just started early. And, like, some of my close friends, I don't know if they might have knew, but they never said nothing to me about it. And that was one of the things I was, you know, dealt with, because it was just like always covering that. And I think like that just led to anxiety, like even as an adult. Mm-hmm. And I literally just got to the point where I could like talk about it freely, like had the like fear of going into hair salons and all of this. But then it's like, even now, like you go to the salons and you see people have the same issues, or like now it's like more shows talking about it. And And I'm just sitting here like, dang, where was these people, when I felt like I needed somebody to talk to about it. Because, kids are cruel. So it's like, you got to be the strong person and just be ready for the comebacks, because just like people always have stuff to say, So I remember specifically being on a bus. I think it was probably like one of my most humiliating points in school that made me real insecure. It was in middle school, and I remember this girl, like, she was mad because I wouldn't, like, give her some answers and stuff for my work, like, so then I remember, like, just being on the bus, and, like, she flicked my hair up and was like, yeah, that's the girl that don't got no sides. So then it's just like, imagine doing that on the bus, being humiliated. So it just, like, did something to me, like, where I was so closed off to people for a while.
What's coming up for you right now, like reliving that experience?
I feel like I didn't, let it go, but it was hurt at the time. Like, to the point I didn't want to talk to my parents about it. So they didn't know exactly what happened on the bus. They just knew I didn't want to ride. And it's like, why you don't want to ride? Like, but I just know I, like, held it in.
Yeah. You make me remember something we used to say in therapy is behavior has meaning. And so the fact that you didn't want to ride the bus anymore, but your parents didn't know why you didn't want to ride the bus. So I appreciate you telling your story, because this gives individuals watching an opportunity to say, like, how can I figure out more of what's going on with my child, or just someone I'm close to and know. So I want you to know that you sharing your story is also an opportunity for people to explore, like, there's something there I don't know all the answers to, but am I willing to go figure it out?
Most definitely. And just knowing that I went through it, it's like, as a parent, it's like being involved with your child, making sure, like, they feel comfortable talking to you about whatever, and just having that relationship, so, like, that she knows she can talk to me about anything and don't have to feel uncomfortable, about anything, just because I know, like, for me, I didn't talk to my parents about it and I held it in. So trying to be better and have that line of communication open for my daughter.
So are you saying that your own experience in childhood has informed you on how to parent?
Yeah, I remember my mom always say, like, ain't no handbook to us. And, like, as a parent now, you can look back and be like, you understood it. And it's like, because I am a parent now, and it's like looking back at shit that I was mad over, like, you understand to give your parents grace now. And my mama, she helped me be the woman I am today, like, strong, because I've seen so many things that's supposed to knock her down, and she's still standing. But then it's also things that I took from her that I know how to work on, as far as one of the big things, like, talk about it in therapy now. I be so closed off, and I ain't touchy and lovey, and then my daughter's the opposite. So it's like, what do I do when my daughter wants to come hug and cuddle? And it's like, okay, but now get off of me. You know what I'm saying? So it's something I had to work on, because, again, like, I didn't get that as a child. And, my mama apologized and all the things, to this day. But, again, it's like, now you see it and you give grace, because, they do what they know or what they saw. And I can appreciate it now as a mother.
You're making me think, because there's so much we have to unlearn. So the fact that you're willing to unlearn how you were parented for your baby Trinity, like, I know that's heavy and it's a lot on you, but what's it make you feel like to know that you're rewriting not only your story, but her story too?
It makes me feel good. But, I mean, it's not easy, because you still don't have a right answer, and regardless we can do all the things, to protect our kid, to show them, like, we just gotta hope that, they take it in. So I don't take it for granted. And I just try to be better every day. And I'm still working on through therapy about it, because, again, trying to unlearn something.
Yeah. Because you brought up the word protection, I want to know if you want to go on a journey with me and talk about, as a little girl, was there a time where you didn't feel protected?
I'm not gonna say I didn't feel protected, but I mean, I had an instance where it was an adult try to touch me. And the crazy thing is, it came out because of one of their family members that was supposed to be my best friend. And because she was mad at them and they got into it, like she brought my incident out. And that's really how it came out. Because again, I didn't say nothing. So when it did come out, it was just like, you get shunned because it happened at church. It was a church member. So then, of course, it's like, if you look at patterns, they had, patterns of stuff that they was doing. But when it came out, and I was talking about other people that I knew, like, he had tried, it was like I was lying, like people didn't want to come forward. And then I got like shunned in church, like, so people had stuff to say. So then from that point on, I just looked at church different and the people, because I mean, it wasn't even that I wasn't protected by my family. It was like the church people, like the people that you think are so holy, then they are like turned up their nose, had stuff to say. Or, it's like if you wasn't being hot, if you wasn't there, like, you get the blame, and it's like, damn, this is why I wasn't even coming for it. But because again, this person got mad, threw my story out there. And it was more of like, I still had the notes and stuff that this grown man was writing me about things that he wanted to do. And at that time I was young, so even some of the stuff he was saying, I didn't even know what it meant. And I just remember it being a big ordeal at church. And from that point on, like, church was different for me.
If you don't mind me asking, how old were you?
I don't remember exactly. I was in middle school, 6th grade, so was that about 12, 13?
Okay. So what I'm understanding is you confided in a friend.
She's supposed to be my friend, yeah.
Okay. And then a friend decided to tell your story before you had even, it sounds like you didn't even tell your parents.
Nope.
And then it came out in church.
Yep.
So not only were you being violated, but then someone took your trust for granted. During middle school, which you also talked about, you had another bad experience during middle school. So it's like another layer.
Yeah.
Have you processed that? Like during that time of your childhood, there was a lot going on?
It was a lot. So like basketball was my safe place.
Is that when you started playing?
I started playing basketball in elementary. So I had always played, but that's what just kept my mind off of everything else.
Yeah. So going through something like you did, but still finding your safe haven in basketball, do you still play today?
Well, I messed up my back. I used to, but I haven't picked up a ball in a while. Before I injured myself with my back, like I was shooting stuff with my daughter because she plays now. So, but as far as like up and down the court, I'm old now. I can't afford no injuries.
Because I remember you hooping in high school. But the point I want to make for those who are watching is we find our own place of safety. And even though the church didn't serve you in that way, tell us a little bit about what basketball did for you.
Like, I don't know, basketball was consistent for me. Like, so even when I was battling like the hair stuff, like being made fun of for that, or even when I was facing the daddy issues of like, why my daddy don't, want me, or, he's a hurt with this family, or just, the stuff that I seen at home with my mom and my stepdad at the time, like basketball was consistent. So I could go play, and it was the safe place for me. So I can say it was consistent. I knew what I was doing. Like, I can go out there and just be free.
Yeah. Is that what photography feels like for you?
Yeah, that's what photography is now.
Yeah.
I can tell stories with my lens, and just let people see themselves in a different perspective for like how I see them.
I love that. How are you feeling right now?
I'm good. Like, I'm just glad I'm at this point where I can't even talk about it, because, like, you hold on stuff for so long and then it's just like take a toll on you. So like when I finally got to this point, like in therapy, it's just like, it's free. Can't nobody tell my story but me, and can't nobody use nothing against me about me, Even when it came to the hair, like my husband, he's like, I don't give a shit. I don't care about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So like things, like he didn't even notice it until like so long down the road. And I told him, like, he was like, okay, like, I don't care about that, So I'm just in a place where it's free.
I love that, being free. But I want to talk a little bit about you as a wife. So I know you and Isaiah as high school sweethearts, and to see y'all on this journey together from like children, young adults into adulthood, and y'all are doing it. What's that like to have met your person as a child?
Uh, it's like the best feeling for real. Like, don't get me wrong, we went through our stuff, but I can say like locked in. Like, it's my best friend. He's been every step away. You know, you have your season, so it's been a season where I support him, pour everything I have into him because he's doing his thing, and vice versa. So, locked in.
Speaking of locked in, people may not know that you're wearing a brace right now. Tell us about why you have this on, and like what's this journey been for you, because something happened to you that has impacted you doing what you love.
Yeah, so January 17th, I was in here in the studio, and I was actually ready to build a set. And so happened I was by myself, trying to be superwoman, strong woman. I asked for help, and I got on a ladder to hang something on the wall, and I was like 5, 6 feet in the air, and I fell. So I fractured my back, so L2, L3, L4, tore a ligament in my hip, my hamstring, my sacrum fractured. I broke that, and like a part of my butt bone. So definitely a journey. Definitely changed my life forever. But I'm also grateful for the experience because it allowed me to see, like, taking things for granted. Like, we don't realize the small things, like just being able to walk. I couldn't walk. I had to have somebody literally lift my legs up to get in the bed. I was on a walker. And I just remember, like, just laying there crying on the floor, helpless.
When you fell?
And the crazy thing is, my door, if you know my studio, it locks from the inside. So, like, I remember hollering because I felt like I heard somebody in the hallway, but even if they were, they couldn't get in because my door was locked from the inside. So, like, I literally had to pop up to crack the door so somebody could come in here. And I remember just falling to the ground, knocked my phone off of the stand. And the crazy thing is because I was recording me doing the set, so the fall was on camera, and calling my husband and my mom, and like everybody rushing to get her. So again, it sucked when it happened, but I can appreciate it now.
Yeah. So right now we're in your studio where this happened.
Yeah.
How do you feel as you're healing and then you're in your sanctuary as well?
Not gonna lie, it was rough when I first walked back in here. So like the set that I was building, like with the grass wall, all of that, the ladder, I got rid of it. Like, and then that area, I just changed it and put like my pictures of myself, because again, it definitely changed my life forever, that injury. I'm again grateful to be sitting here because I remember going through it. I remember crying. And like, I don't want to lose my studio because I worked so hard for it. And at the same time, it was like, if it was meant to be, it's meant to be. But I did have help during the time as far as making sure that I didn't lose it.
Yeah. What a journey. What a story. The fact that you're sitting here right now telling your story, Denisha that I knew in high school would not have shared this much. So
Nah, definitely. I was so closed off just because of the things that I, had seen. And again, it's like you're not even realizing stuff has the effect on you that it does until you do go and do therapy.
Have you really took the time to say, like, I noticed my growth?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely notice it. And it's crazy because other people can say it too. I mean, of course, I'm a little for validation from other people, but when people notice it, it's like, okay, when people see me doing the work.
Yeah. But how do you feel about you doing the work?
I feel good, again, because none of it was for nobody else. It was for me, and I knew I had issues that I needed to work on. So just to see where I am from when I first started therapy feels good.
So y'all, therapy works. It works. Also, to hear like this full circle moment of you're holding women through photography, they are unleashing like all their deep truths, which took you on a journey to also unleash and reveal.
Yeah, because I can't expect, them to share and be vulnerable. And, like people do come here and open up. I hear a lot of stories. And, I keep it between me and my clients. So it's like I can't, talk about confidence and talk about all these things and then I'm not showing it.
What's that done for you as an entrepreneur to learn yourself and then also lean into vulnerability?
Honestly, it grew my business and my community. I definitely say it grew my community because like people want to be around people they can relate to and people they can trust. And I think so many times like people get on social media and people don't tell the bad, you just see the good. And for me, it was like, I'm gonna share my wins, my losses, all the things in between. Entrepreneurship ain't for the weak. And when you're going through it, it's just like, you need that circle. And I just be trying to be real so people can understand. I have a lot of friends that work or, some people will say like, I wish I could have and do this that you do. And I'll be like, shit, it ain't that easy. Like I have my moments, I struggle, I be wanting to give up. Like me and my friends joke every other day, like entrepreneurship ain't for the weak. And you just got to have a hustle about yourself. You got to keep yourself grounded, with God. You gotta know who you are. Cause if not, you get so caught up into what everybody else is doing or what other people think, like it can mess you up.
Yeah. What keeps you going?
My daughter, my family, my husband.
What about you?
Yeah, me too.
You too?
Yeah.
So, support, because I am also learning from you, Denisha, that you behind the lens is not just, getting imagery. It's more where it sounds like you've built a community. So that sounds like support. What does that look like for those you're working with, but like support for you too?
Yeah, so again, it's about being vulnerable and, being relatable. Because again, it's so much on social media and you can get caught up easy. So for me, like, I feel like I done built this community. So like people that's on my email list, like I send out email newsletters every week. So I'm sharing stuff. So like the vulnerability like that I'm sharing now is what they get on my email newsletters. And it's just a community. So like people reach out to me like all the time through email, the DMs, just like keep showing up because you don't know how you helped me. Like, and it'd be so crazy because it's like people from out of states and like I done built a community like of people that follow me that like it's out of state, like out the country. Like I have photographers that talk to me out the country, so it's just showing up and being your authentic self. And it's like, I don't have nothing to prove to nobody. So for me, I show up as Denisha every day. So you might catch me with my hair out with my curls out, or you might catch me with a wig on and a hat, you know what I'm saying? So like I show up as me and people can respect it and relate.
So I just want to say your therapist was wrong. It's not local celebrity. It is global celebrity because not only are you touching people here in the state of Kentucky, but all over through your art, your gift. I don't
like the word celebrity. I'm just Denisha for real.
I know, but the fact that people are seeing you in a light that you're impactful.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and like for me, like I don't even like. I've been a person that's always been behind the scenes. I stay behind the camera. I don't like all the attention. So it's funny, like just being out and people know who you are. So like when you're out the state, like I remember being at like a photo conference and it's like people walking up to me like, I follow you, I know you. And it's like, oh stuff. And like, I'm here just to learn. Like I ain't even no speaker and all of that. So it's like, okay, like keep doing what you're doing, keep showing up. Cause you don't know who's watching. And then all it takes is one opportunity to get in that right room.
What's been the best opportunity that you've experienced so far?
Best opportunity? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't feel like I got no specific, I don't know. Honestly, I would say my best opportunity is coming back from his fall. Like some people, it took a long time to heal, and Like, thank God, like I said, it happened in January and it's the beginning of April and I'm here walking. So for me, I would honestly say it's the best opportunity because, you know, some people would have counted me out.
Yeah. And so I would witness on social media you talking about like your loss of being able to shoot and be in your sanctuary. Tell us a little bit more about like that down period for you where I couldn't get there or like I couldn't have mobility in my body.
I was depressed. It was a dark time. Not only like the fall, it was like, you know, physical, it was mental, spiritually, financial. Like, I feel like I was at my darkest place. Like, and it was like questioning, like, why? Like, to the point depressed. And it's like, why am I even here? But then it's like, I gotta be strong for my daughter, you know, because she's watching everything that I do. But it was a lot of emotions because it's like people that you thought, I ain't gonna even say people that you thought, like people that I thought would be there wasn't there the way that I thought they would be there. But then it's also a point of, like, I just had to sit in my shit. So, like, as a person that already overthinks, as a person that already have insomnia, don't sleep good, like, it was rough because I just had time to sit there and think. So if I seen something wrong, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just would spiral in thoughts, you know? So then I'm questioning all these things. And then it's like, you need rest for recovery, but I couldn't sleep. So, I mean, my doctor's giving me sleeping pills, all the things. And like, it might have worked for 2 days where I got like a full 8 hours of sleep. But then it was like back to me waking up at like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. So I start trying to work. And again, it's just like you thinking that people will be there. And they ain't. But then it's like you also have the people that did show up. And I remember crying. Like, I remember I was crying, like boo-hooing and just like going through all the emotions. And my husband's like, that's what we're not about to do. He was like, quit worrying about who's not here. I'm here. And it was like, you know what I'm saying? It just was like, you right. Like, so from that point on, it's just like, I can't worry about who didn't show up because I know who did show up. And,
That's right.
And, you know, people was checking on me, but, like, just me being the person I am, like, you know, they see this hard Denisha, this, you know, like, so they don't see the other side, but it was like going through the motion, everybody's checking on me, but who's checking on my husband? Mm. So I battled with that because it's like he took on so much. And I was just worried about his mental, like, because, again, not only was, you know, he trying to be there for me, but then it's like financially, all the things him going my world, like, you know, the whirlwind of emotions and just being there. And it's so crazy because he's like the most selfless person. And before I got injured, we both had just started talking about like shows. So I was supposed to do a transformation show. So if people was following me, they knew, like, I was on my fit journey. I lost over 40 pounds. I was supposed to do a transformation show in the fall. And then he was going to do a show. So, like, he had to put that on pause because, again, he had to be there by my side, you know. And it was just like a dark time. Like, again, you think people's going to be there. And financially, it's like, so as an entrepreneur, you know, like, it's how I pay my bills. So I can't even do it. Like, you know, and then it's like having to give out refunds and, like, how am I going to pay this? How am I going to do this? And then it's just like, Denisha, you can't worry, you know, you got to trust. And, you know, everybody can say you got to trust and do this, but until you're in that situation, like, you don't know how that shit feels, you know? So it's like, for me, I'm a person about my business. You know, you try to save money for the rainy, you know, like, I'm a person that, like, pay my bills, you know? So just to go from that to not, and I think, like, honestly, I can say it's just like one of the times in my life that I was like getting overdraft. So I'm like, I ain't never, you know, and it was like, it was a rough feeling, like depressed, like, I don't like this, I don't want, you know, go on. Like, it was deep, like dark, like questioning it all. And of course people, they'll keep telling you, and it's just like, I don't want to hear that shit right now because y'all not paying my bills, you know? And it just like put the pressure on him. But my husband, he showed up, he was there every step of the way. But again, during that time, it was dark on all levels.
I am thankful that you're talking about like this dark period of entrepreneurship, even though like this happened because of an injury, but people always gloat and support, oh, go start your own business, not realizing like not just the investment like monetary, but like the investment, like your whole body, like the people around you. And it sounds like from your experience that there will be dark moments.
Most definitely. Definitely. And I can't say with this you like learn lessons. So for me, one of the big, like, I was pissed because, again, when I started my business, I didn't have no help. So like I made mistakes, learned on the way. And of course, that's kind of why I started my mentorship, so I can help people prevent some of the mistakes I made. So, they tell you get business insurance, get business insurance. I got business insurance. I got like $1 million policy. Mm-hmm. So of course, when me falling, I thought I was covered, only to find out I didn't have the right clause in my business insurance policy. So guess what? The bills just keep coming for these doctor bills and stuff. Like my stay at the emergency room was $16,000. So it's just like you try to do all the things right, and it's still sometimes not enough. So yes, it's definitely dark periods. I would tell people, make sure your stuff is in order before you try, because it's not all sunshine. That's entrepreneurship, and people can put that online all day. But, it could be days you make, I done had $10,000 days. I done had $0 days. You know what I'm saying? So first, you just, like, your mindset got to be different to survive entrepreneurship. You have to have hustle, and it's different levels to entrepreneurship. Some people work a 9 to 5 and then do their business on the side. That's different from a person that do entrepreneurship full time, because it's a different level of hustle, because this is how you eat. You know what I'm saying? And no shade to those people, because honestly, smarter, it's a little safer,
Yeah.
And people gloat and glorify. And for me, it's like, people did want to be booked and busy. Nah, I want to be rested. You know what I'm saying? Like, as you grow in your business, you learn how to do things the right way or a different way, like what makes sense.
Yeah. So, Women's History Month just passed. You are a Black woman owned business. And how long have you been doing this?
Full time, 8 years.
Full time, 8 years.
And actually, maybe 8 years in June.
Have you celebrated yourself, Denisha?
Nah, not like I should. I'm thinking I might throw me some.
Okay.
My birthday's coming up, just recovering from this injury. Again, it's just like, in this moment, it's like, you can't take nothing for granted, not even the small things.
Yeah. What would a celebration look like?
I don't know. I have a few different things. I don't know if I want to be out the country or if I want to celebrate, in my space. So I'm still trying to figure out those details.
Well, my hope is that you do celebrate yourself, because not only professionally, but personally. And then the fact that I'm sitting here and I'm looking at all this beautiful art on the walls of these women. And I'm sure each of them have a story.
Yeah.
Do you look at these sometimes when you come in here?
Yeah, like, dang, I did that.
That's right.
Yeah.
You did that. And you're going to keep doing that.
Most definitely. It's just the beginning.
Yeah. What's next?
What's next? I don't know. Yeah, I just got to stay tuned.
You going to keep telling your story?
I'm going to keep telling my story.
Okay.
I'm going to keep telling my story, and pushing other women to tell theirs. I want to do like a showcase with women telling their story, and I'm a lead because I know how I want to showcase like my story. So that's one of the things. I want to continue to keep helping other photographers. This one keep being great.
So the last question I'm thinking to ask you is, why now? Like, why are we sitting here? Why are you telling your story? What's the purpose of all this?
Because I feel like if I help one person, I did my job. So many women go through life just holding stuff in and not getting the help. And I've been there, and like not getting help, like it can take a toll on you. So for me, like I battled and held this stuff in for so long until like I worked through it through therapy. And it's like, I wish I would have did it sooner. And I just want people to know, like, you can do it. Like, you can get through, like, as a woman, like, you write your story. And you don't let the things that happen to you define you or in your story. Like, you the author. So, like, for me, it's just turning all my pain into something purpose.
Yeah. If you don't mind, can I get you to tell people in that camera what you want them to take from this?
What I want them to take from this: don't wait too late. If you're going through something, talk to somebody. Find you an outlet, and don't be scared because you just never know who else is going through what you go through.